Hello everybody, I hope everyone is doing well and welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my May roundup, and every time I do a roundup video, I always say something along the lines of, I cannot believe we're already at the end of this month, but I seriously cannot believe it. We're in the last couple days of May. I just feel like time is going by just like that. Like, where's it going? I don't know. But if you aren't familiar with my roundup videos, I basically go through all of the new products I brought into my collection this month, and I tell you my kind of final review after trialing the products for a longer period of time. And I have 3 categories here: my favorites, then I move on to the products that I liked, and those are the products that I did enjoy, but I have a few critiques about them. And then lastly, I get into my disappointments or products that were just unremarkable to me and that I don't see myself reaching for much. So now that I gave you the lowdown of how this video is gonna go, I'd love for you to subscribe if you aren't already. It means so much to me, and let's get to it. I made one oopsies over the course of this month and I misplaced all of these products. These are the Nyx Hue Shifters as well as the Total Control Pro Drop Foundation. I accidentally put them in a weird area of my office and I just completely forgot about them. And I really wanted to see how the Hue Shifters worked with other foundations and so on and so forth. So I'm going to make that a priority next month. So more on these at a later date. But let's get into my favorite products. So I'm first going to start off with these. These are the Cosmetics Moonbeam Cushion Highlighters. And I wasn't expecting to love these as much as I do. I will be honest, they were a little bit glimmery when I swatched them on the back of my hand. But on the actual cheekbones, they look so beautiful. It's a very juicy looking glow. It's very glossy without feeling heavy or sticky on the cheeks. And I really like how customizable these are because you can apply a little bit so it's just a very sheer glow, or you can amp it up a lot more if you want that look. I will say that I don't really love applying it with the applicator that is provided, nor do I like using it with any sort of tool either, like a brush or a sponge. I prefer my fingers. That way you're gonna get a lot more out of your product as well. When you use a finger, you pick up a lot less product. Therefore, you're gonna have this around for a lot longer. The shade I use the most is Halo. That one is more golden in tone. I'll swatch both of them on the back of my hand so you can see. So I just like to use it with my ring finger, and I'll just do like 3 little taps in here, and that picks up enough product per area, I find. I like to apply just a tiny amount of this so I get that sheer glow. But here they are on my hand. I made sure to really blend the swatches out so you can see what they would look like on my cheekbones. I do have a stain right here from swatching a lip stain, so ignore that, but that's what they look like. This one is Halo and this one is Aura. I did gift the deepest one to someone else, so these are the ones that remain in my collection, but adore those. Fantastic highlighters. Next up, I wanted to talk about the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. I put off trying this out for a very long time just because I never got along that well with any of the other Nars based products I've tried, but this has been a game changer. This has pretty much been the only foundation I've been reaching for over the month of May. It's stunning and it works flawlessly with all of the products I use on a regular basis. I've never had an issue with this product pilling with any of my sunscreens or primers or glow boosters or anything I lay over top. It just works amazingly. I don't have to think about it. It just does its job. I've been using the shade 1.5 the most. I love the amount of coverage that's in this product. I'd say it's a light to medium depending on how much you apply. It softly corrects and smooths out my skin without overcorrecting it, so I still see my skin shining through. And I also adore this one's finish. It adds a bunch of glow without being too greasy or heavy looking. So this tinted moisturizer has been a dream. Also, before I forget, this one works really great with a brush or your fingertips. I prefer a brush just because I'm very messy and I tend to get foundation fingers everywhere if I'm not careful. So I'm really happy that it works fantastically with both. I have a blush here, and this is a product that I left out of last month's roundup. This is the Say Dew Blush in the shade Poppy. Jamie got me this in our collab, and I find this one to be quite unique for a liquid blush because it feels like a mixture of a cream and a serum in one. It's like if the Cosmetics serum blushes had a baby with, say, the Glossier Cloud Paints. And I love how long wearing this blush is, especially for being such a thin consistency. So you can see here it has a nice dewy glow, of course, given the name. What makes it stand out to me is that it's super easy to blend. It never leaves like a memory stain spot, and you can build it up like crazy. Here, I'll give you an example. Once this kind of sets down, I'm just seeing if it's setting. So this is like the initial layer, and this color here is quite vibrant. But if I add another layer, you can see how buildable it is. It never picks up on itself. Here, I'm trying to see my little viewfinder. Did you see that? So it doesn't pick up on itself, it doesn't get streaky, it just builds and builds and builds, which is great, especially if you are a blush fiend like me. And you can see on my fingertips here, I just wiped it on my makeup towel here and it left remnants, so that's gonna really help it stay on your face all day. But once you cleanse your face at the end of the day, it does come off. So this blush right here really stands out to me, not only for its really unique color, but for its beautiful formula as well. Honestly, I should pick up more things from this brand just to explore it more. But yes, gorgeous blush. Next up, I wanted to update you on my thoughts about the smudge proof eyeshadow base from Nars. This is the one that doesn't have a tint to it, it's see-through, and this seriously feels like a complete different product than the tinted version of this. I'm so happy I gave the colorless one a chance because this one works phenomenally. And I really like how it's such a thin formula, but it's a very powerful one as well. Like, this is giving my Fenty Beauty one a run for its money. But this has been treating me really well, and I should have listened to you guys sooner, and I should have tried this years ago, if I'm being honest. Next up, I have the new Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0 lip liners. These are a complete 180 from her original lip liners. These are so much nicer, and I'm really happy about that because I really adore the tones that she comes out with in her lip products, but I never really got along with them. They were always too drying and texture enhancing on my lips, and I'm so happy to be able to say that these are phenomenal. Not only is the packaging just smart as heck because it is a retractable liner, so you don't need a sharpener at all. The colors are great, the formula is so smooth and creamy, and you get some working time so you can really diffuse the lip line out if you'd like. This is a more pigmented formula, so you will get more of a harsh lip line, but you can run your finger over it if you want it to be more diffused and soft. These are very, very easy to use, unlike the original lip liners. The last thing I want to say about these actually is that the formula is a little bit different. It has a soft matte finish, so it's not as drying of a matte that I'm used to seeing in lip liners, if that makes sense. And the colors are gorgeous. These are the two that I've been wearing the most, Honey Beige and Terracotta. I'm using Honey Beige on my perimeter of my lips today. And my last favorite here is the Nars Brief Encounter Soft Matte Tinted Lip Balm. And I am heartbroken because this is a limited edition product, and I feel like this should just be a forever product because it's such a beautiful formula and it's so unique as well. Here, I applied a thick swatch here. I'll do a thinner one right over top of the stain. I don't know. So here it is full on, and here it is a little bit softer so you can really see it. This color's perfect. It's my perfect everyday nude color. It suits all of my go-to looks. This really stands out to me because it feels just like a lip balm. It feels nourishing, but it has a matte finish that is flattering. Therefore, it doesn't sink into all of your little lip lines. It just makes your lips look so velvety and just nice. While we're talking about it, I'm just gonna put a little bit more on my lips. Seriously, this has been gracing my lips every day since I tried this out for the first time. I don't fall in love with that many lip products, but when I do, they tend to be limited edition, and I don't know why. And please, Nars, don't discontinue these. They're too gorgeous. So those were all of my favorite discoveries from the past month. Now let's get into my likes. And I first wanted to start off with this blush. This is the Persona Super Blush in the shade Terracotta. And I'm not too sure why this isn't a favorite. I mean, look at the color. It screams my vibe. And it performed really nicely. I never had an issue with it. And even if I applied too much, it was really easy to diffuse out and fix the whole situation. I was never left with clown cheeks. But for some reason, this just doesn't excite me. The formula is really nice. It has this velvety matte finish. Here is that color right here. So you can see there's a little bit of a glow running through it. It's very, very pretty. And for a powder blush, it does have this nice creaminess in it. Feels like it's hydrated in a way. And that really helps to blend it out. It totally sounds like a dream blush, right? But for some reason, I just don't really reach for it, or nor do I get really excited about it. It performs really well. I just find that it's a fine formula. The next product here is the Nars Sun-Kissed Bronzing Cream, and I have the shade Casino here. And I think that's a big contributor of why this product is in this section. This color is for sure too deep for me. I definitely can get it to work because it is a very blendable product. I just have to struggle a bit more to get there. This is the color Blend It Out. So you can see maybe at the end of summer I'll be able to use it, but it is a bit too deep. And another reason why I don't think this really stood out to me is it feels exactly like the Huda Beauty Tan Tour. And I know the Tan Tour through and through. I've been loving it for years. So I always feel like I would reach for that one more so than this one. But speaking about this product alone and not comparing it to the Huda Beauty one, this one is a really great formula. This product blends very easily, and I've had great experiences with a sponge or brush. This product is in no way bad. It's going to remain in my collection. I really wish that they launched a better shade range in this collection, just because the Laguna bronzer itself isn't my favorite tone on my skin tone. So even if I did pick up the lighter version of this, I don't think I would be as happy either. I wish they came out with at least 6 shades, so then you would have a few options for deeper skin tones, medium skin tones, and lighter skin tones as well. I think that would have just been a lot more successful. Now let's move on to these little eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop. These are the pressed powder palettes. I don't know, the quads, the newer quads that they launched. But I guess in Colourpop world, this was like a year ago. I do have a couple reservations about these. I find these to be a bit tricky because they look a lot deeper in tone in the actual palette here than when they're on the eye. They're not as pigmented and they apply a lot lighter, which is a little bit weird. And also the more glittery shimmer shade. This one right here, I'm pointing with my thumb on this side, and this one I'm pointing with my index. But those are very crumbly and glittery shades. You can definitely work around it by dampening your finger or your brush, but I thought it was important to mention. They do tend to have a bit more fallout than I'm used to. But other than that, I think these are really fun to have on hand if you just want to have a quick, easy, natural look. I know I really like to have these types of palettes on hand, especially on the days where I'm a bit more pressed for time and I need to get out the door. Because if I'm in one of those situations and I pull out, say, my Natasha Denona Biba palette, I'm going to be creating a whole 10-step smoky eye situation. So I need to have these on hand to condense my creativity and just to get me out the door a lot quicker. The last product I have in this section is the Huda Beauty Power Cream Lipsticks. And I'm really happy that she launched these as well. Similarly to the lip liners, I love the colors that she offers in the Power Mattes, but I never got along with the finish because it was too mattifying and it enhanced my lip lines too much for my liking. So I'm really happy that she launched this hydrating formula. I will say that this formula is a tad more heavy than other lipsticks I've tried, but it's nothing too crazy. Just important to mention. I'll swatch 2 shades here. This one is the shade Raja, and here is Gold Digger. Gold, not gold, gold. But you can see the finish here. It has this beautiful, intense sheen that kind of gives me M Cosmetics lip cushion vibes, which I love those if you're not familiar. And the texture is very similar. The only issue I have with this product is that it's very soft in this stick form. So you can see here very clearly on this one. No, very clearly, and it goes out of focus. Rude. I'll have to do this or else you'll see my face. So you can see on the stick, oh no. So you can see on the stick it kind of is leaning like the Tower of Pisa, and it's starting to get damaged. And that's because when you're applying it, the little amount of pressure makes the stick crash into this component here and it just gets kind of messy, and that's a little bit worrisome. Like, I don't know how that's going to be long term. So in my opinion, this formula is a little bit squishy to be in this type of packaging. It should have been in like a longer stick form with like a push top or something, so it wouldn't be able to compress like that or shift and move throughout the component. So that's why these are in here. Wrong type of packaging for this, but the formula is really nice. The colors are phenomenal, and that's what I have to say about these. So now let's move on to the last category, the products that were unremarkable to me or the ones that did not perform well. So first off, I'll talk about the Nars Summer Solstice Cheek Duo. And originally I thought that this contained a complete different formula than their original bronzers and highlighters, but it's just a duo of Laguna, and I believe this one is Ibiza. I could be wrong, but it's these two formulas that I use quite often in one, but this performs completely differently than the singles do. And I have a feeling it's due to the fact that there's a design pressed into here. I feel like they had to press this product a lot harder than they would with their normal ones. And there's a ton of fragrance added into here. So I feel like that really messed up the formula. I had nothing but issues building this one up. And when I did build it up, it kind of got patchy. It was never like a smooth and easy experience. So although it would have been fun to get a 2-in-1 of two really great products, it just kind of missed the mark there, and the singles work a lot better on their own. I have some more cheek products here, and these are the Colourpop quads, the cheek version. And first of all, the packaging on these is really bad. Like, they don't stay closed, like just one little knock and they open up. So if you carry around a makeup bag, good luck with this, because there's a very high chance that they're going to break and crumble and get everything dirty and messy. So talking about the actual product inside, the only pan I enjoyed was actually the highlighter, just because the blushes, they either looked too similar to one another on the actual cheeks, and there is one with some chunky glitter included, which I didn't really realize until I applied it. This one right here has some chunky glitter in it, and you guys know that's not my vibe. I wish there was more of a difference between the colors of the blushes in the palettes. Honestly, I've been having a lot of issue with Colourpop recently with their products not closing. I recently got the Barbie collab, and this product too, which is a complete different packaging, does not click shut either. I don't know why they don't want to close. So yes, I wouldn't recommend these. The colors are too similar to one another, the packaging is faulty, and I feel like there's a lot better out there than these. I have another blush here. This is the Bite Beauty Daycation Whipped Blush. I have one shade, Coconut Rum. The actual formula in here is kind of fun because it's a moussey texture, and I don't really have that many blushes like it. So when you first squirt it out, it is really, really cute, because it's just a little moussey thing, and it does blend out quite nicely, and it has a unique kind of silicone-y texture, like that whipped texture that you see more so in primers and such. But I find that the actual product in here is too pearlescent for my vibe, so when I apply it to my cheeks, I just look like a grease ball. I am a fan of a lot of glowy blushes, but this one is too glowy. I find that this almost looks more like a highlighter in some cases. And the packaging on this, I am really not a fan. I think it's cute that it's a little circle, but I can't get over the fact that it looks like a penis. And it's also really, really hard to get the actual product out. And I can't imagine how hard it would be once you get through a lot of the product and you're at the final squeezes of this product. You'd probably have to physically cut this thing open to get whatever's left in here. And if you have any arthritis or if you have any limitations with your hands, I don't know how you would get the product out. I was the jar opener of the family, and I can barely squeeze this product out. With the new era of Bite Beauty, I feel like I only have hits and misses, and sadly this one is a big miss. So now lastly, I have the Melt Mary Jane collection. I'm first going to talk about the glitters because I don't have that much to say about them. They're just not something I'd reach for ever. I'm not a huge chunky glitter person. In the past, I always kept these gel glitter pots around just in case if I wanted to use them, and that day never comes. I don't think I'm going to ever get a good use out of this type of product. They kind of make me nervous if I'm wearing them around my eye. This could totally be a personal preference thing, but I just don't see this being a fit in my collection. And finally, for the palette, I'm so sad. I think this is the first Melt palette I have not gotten along with. I'll start off positively, and I do really like the mattes in here. I will be keeping the palette just for the mattes. It's the normal formulation. Where this palette falls flat for me is the shimmers and the satins in here. They're very crumbly. It's just like a crazy amount of fallout, and usually fallout doesn't really bother me depending on what techniques I use, and every time I've used the shimmers I've used them dampened and I still get a crazy amount of fallout all over. So at that point it is the product that's at fault. I'm sorry. But yes, the shimmers are very flaky and chunky and they don't rest well on the eye. There's just a lot of struggling with the shimmers in here, and I don't think makeup should be that way. There are a million other eyeshadows out there that perform beautifully or that don't take as much time or struggle to apply. So I would for sure pass on this one. And there we have it. Those are all of the products I brought into my collection this month. But that is all from me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching and being here. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. I'll make sure to link all of these products in the description down below as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye!